Hi everybody, this is the Baseball Head, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the People's Champion, your host, the Hunter. Welcome back to the Baseball Head, and hopefully you like this video. And hit that subscribe button. So we're going to talk about the Mets roster a little bit. It's early, we know it's early, but the Mets have had quite the upheaval this offseason. It's a completely different team, quite frankly. Guys that have been here for a long time, years and years and years and years are no longer here with the Mets. And we're going to learn a lot about this new team. I think the one takeaway was they brought in guys that were good clubhouse guys that are tough on the field. We may not get them to post, meaning, Peter Alonso plays every day. Brandon Nimmo gets out there every day. Jeff McNeil gets out there every day. These guys have been a little injury prone here and there over the last few years, but the clubhouse was a problem, as you know, for the last several years, and which really was holding this group back. I saw different things with WFAN, with the Craig Carton mentioning the families weren't getting along in that clubhouse. The wives weren't getting along with the clubhouse. Now, if you have a wife or girlfriend, and you have a friend that's a girlfriend, a wife, and they don't get along, you're going to have problems. So, and that's a distraction. But the new players seem to be all like, hopefully this team's going in the right direction, going in the same direction. We'll find out pretty quickly, because the season we'll go through that we have coming will be gone before you know it. By the time we know it, it'll be in October, November of this year. And we won't be talking, or we'll be in the summer at some point dealing with 95-degree weather, unlike what we're going to be dealing with this weekend with 7-degree weather. I mean, some places in Canada is like minus 40. No joke, minus 45 degrees. That's from SNY. Way too early. Mets 26-man roster prediction 2026. And let me sort of give you, again, I was here when we talked about Freddy Peralta live. Can't tell you how big of a move that is for this club. Now, I'm going to skip over some of this stuff because it doesn't matter last year. As recent as 10 days ago, the Mets were still very much an unfinished product. No kidding. They had added Semyon's Gold Glove to second base. I would mention about some of his production at second base. That is an improvement over what they've had as a grouping with the Beatty and Acuna and Jeff McNeil. So the 15 home runs that he hit, or 16 home runs or whatever it was, is an improvement from what they had there. And he's one of these players, he'll have some rough years and then he'll have a big year. Maybe he'll get a second life being here with the Mets, third or fourth life. Devin Williams to close, which was a shock. The Mets wanted to bring back Edwin Diaz. That's the one move that he walked away, got more money. Luke Weaver to set up, and Jorge Polanco to help fill out the void left by Alonso. But Dave Stern's full plan hadn't yet come into fruition. Then in one wild week, they lost on Kyle Tucker. Next morning, they signed Bo Bichette. They traded for Luis Robert Jr. The next day, they picked up in a blockbuster trade Freddy Peralta for two big prospects the Mets had. Brandon Sproat and Jet Williams. So a lot has happened. But let's go through the lineup a little bit and what to expect. Francisco Alvarez behind the plate. He'll be catching for the Mets. He has to up the production. He's got to get better. He's got to get better defensively. He's got to get better offensively. I know people talked about how the offense looked good. I did not think he was good at all most of the year. He picked it up after he came back from the minors, but major problem. That lack of production hurt this team. At first base, Jorge Polanco will be the first baseman, learning first base. Mets are going to have a cavalcade of guys playing first. He'll be there. Mark Vientos will be there. Brett Beatty will be there. Jorge Polanco's a guy that's driven in like 90 runs a few times, 25, 30 home runs a few times in his past career. And he had a big postseason last year for the Mariners. That's the thing about these newer guys. Polanco and Bichette in particular are big RBI guys late in the game. Marcus Semien, he's going to give you Gold Glove defense. I already covered him a little bit. Francisco Lindor, let's get what they got from Lindor to be in good shape. I'm going to assume that he'll be batting leadoff. Bo Bichette, professional hitter, hits everybody, and hits big pitching, and hits it late. He hit a big home run against Shohei Ohtani in Game 7 of the World Series. If they were able to get the last 3 outs, he would have been the hero of Toronto. Maybe he stays in Toronto if he hit that, if that home run had counted for the W. But that didn't happen. And then he was going to sign with the Phillies. The Philly fans are pissed off about it. And now he's with the Mets though. Skip the next player, Luis Robert Jr. I'm rather dubious about the player, but the production is a massive improvement over nothing, which is what they had last year in center field. Right field, we don't have to worry about for the next 4 years. Juan Soto is going to put up big numbers. He's going to have a big year from start to finish. And then they have on here Brett Beatty as the designated hitter. I don't think he's going to be DHing so much. He'll be playing first, third, second, probably left field, unless they move him. That's a possibility. And but they don't have Jet Williams now, who's going to be that sort of guy. He'll be that guy for the Brewers. But Beatty, they put him as DH. We'll see how he plays. I was not unhappy with the way he played in the second half. And he really picked it up defensively. But that's the Mets' everyday lineup going into, in January right now. Obviously, things could change. And then, of course, there's Carson Bench. And he's going to be given every opportunity to make this team. He cannot fall on his face. If he falls on his face, he's going to be gone. But if he plays well, does what he has to do, he'll be starting at the very least on this team. Just ban him like 7th or 8th in the lineup. Leave him alone. I have not seen him, so I can't give you an idea of what kind of player he is. But he has a pedigree in college. He was a pitcher. He was an outfielder. And he's considered one of the best outfield prospects in the game. The 5th best according to, I guess, MLB.com. He is a top 20 prospect. So he's a player that's going to be very good. Let's start in rotation. Let's have a bunch of guys now. I don't know if they're going to move anybody. But we got Freddy Peralta. We know all about him. Solidifies the top of this rotation. And that was the thing that they really lacked last year. Nolan McLean takes a lot of pressure off of McLean. He's going into the season as the favorite to win the Rookie of the Year. Sean Manaea, we'll see what happens with him. Hopefully he pitches as well as he did in the second half. But the way he pitched last year is very similar to how he's pitched at good portions of his career. Clay Holmes, who pitched really well for the Mets in the first year as a starter. We'll see how he handles the second year of workload and whether the Mets can stretch him out a little bit more. But he pitched great. I mean, he really did. He pitched really, really well for the Mets. David Peterson, we'll see if he gets moved. He could get moved based on the fact that he's got 1 year left on his contract. The Mets are not going to sign him to a big deal. Then there's Kodai Senga. We'll see. The Mets could not move him. They weren't happy with the returns they were getting for him. But I also mentioned Tobias Myers, who they picked up in that trade with the Brewers. That guy could be a starter too for the Mets and be the long man or be in the bullpen. He's going to be a very massive pickup for the Mets. Jonah Tong. He's probably going to go back down to AAA. I was not all that impressed with him. He needs a little work. You know, the stuff is very raw. He's very immature as a pitcher. He needs more experience in AAA. Going up against a veteran, fringe major leaguers, he needs a little work. And the new pitching coach here, Justin Willard, would help him in terms of the control, because obviously, one of the reasons Jeremy Hefner's not here is because the Mets walk batters like crazy. You can't keep, you can't, defend against runs if you're walking batters. Christian Scott, can't forget about him. He'll be coming back, but just send him to minor leagues and let him pitch and see how that works out. They posted a couple of pitchers here. We got Jonathan Santucci and Jack Winninger. These guys are in Double-A. They could get a shot this year if there's injuries. And, of course, there's Will Watson, who's the guy that actually might be better than them. We'll see. We'll keep an eye on him. And that's the rotation. The bullpen, we got Devin Williams. We'll see how he pitches. He has not been the same since Pete Alonso broke him in the 24 NL wildcard series. Luke Weaver is going to be in this bullpen. Brooks Raley, he pitched really well last year. Luis Garcia, who they signed just recently the other day. Can't forget about AJ Minter. We'll see. He might be with the Mets by June. They mentioned Tobias Myers. We've got Adbert Azalea, who's a guy they signed last year to a 2-year deal. He was dealing with Tommy John. The guy that scares me out of this grouping is Brazoban. Shouldn't be here. He pitched so poorly last year that he shouldn't be here, to be honest with you. Now here's the bench. Now, I don't get too worked up about the bench, just due to the fact this bench is going to change. We got Tyrone Taylor, Luis Torrens behind the plate, Mark Vientos, and Vidal Brujan, who they picked up the other day. Ryan Mauricio's still sticking around. Jared Young is still here. Be interesting to see if the Mets move Ryan Mauricio or Mark Vientos. Ryan Mauricio has to play. So either he's going to be here and plays every day. Can't have him on the bench. The same thing with Mark Vientos, quite frankly. They're too young to be sitting around. But we'll see. It's early still. There might be guys that come into camp and this goes throughout the whole roster that you wouldn't think much of, and they'll be here in April. I mean, it's like, revolving door of players coming in, coming out, coming in, coming out. That's how it was last year in particular. A little out of control last year with all these pitchers. Like 95 pitchers came in here and pitched for the Mets. Well, you let me know what you think about this video. And, of course, please subscribe to the Baseball Hut. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.